Greetings everybody. We're now having a look at Euro USD, and we are currently on the monthly chart of Euro USD. And in regards to the monthly chart of Euro USD, we can see that currently price is at a very strong level of support at this point over here, as you guys can see. And what this indicates is that we might potentially get a reversal of sorts. Let me just actually mark this actual area. Over here, there we go, there goes our support area. And as I said, guys, that we might potentially get a reversal of sorts, and maybe to this level over here, and that is because that level is a very strong level of resistance, as you guys can see. And previously I'd actually spoken about how we have this very strong M structure which has a neckline at this point over here. And you guys know by now that when it comes to M structures, ideally we would love to see price close below the neckline and then head back to the neckline to test it. And at that neckline is where we would look for potential selling opportunities, as the anticipation is for the market to push further down, right? However, having said that, because we have this very strong level of resistance, what may actually happen is that price, instead of retracing at the neckline of that M structure, may actually head to the resistance area and then push further down from that point. However, having said that, both structures are very strong, and I would look for selling opportunities at this level over here, right? We just need to be careful and see how price reacts over the next couple of days. Anyway, let's proceed. What I'm going to do now is just add a neckline for that M structure, because it is very much important. Let's have a look. There goes my neckline, more or less. Then I'm just going to zoom in a bit, and then I'm going to add my resistance area as well, because similarly it is also very much important. So just bear with me, guys. There we go. There we go. Right. So as I said, we are on the monthly chart. So what I'm going to do right now is head down to the weekly chart, and here we are on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, I can see that we actually have a very nice overextended M structure at this point, which has a neckline at that level, more or less, right? It's an overextended M structure because the first leg is higher than the second leg, right? Nonetheless, it is a valid M structure, right? And then what I'm going to do now is also add a neckline to that structure. Just bear with me, guys. There we go. There goes our neckline, right? And similarly, guys, similar to the M structure that we have on the monthly chart, ideally we want to see price head back to the neckline to test it, and at this point we would look for potential selling opportunities. And our first take profit, should we get a good entry, is this level over here where we have that support line, right? So what I'm going to do now is utilize the Fibonacci retracement tool. We just want to have a look in terms of whether the neckline of this M structure aligns with any of the key numbers that we have on the Fibonacci retracement tool. So just bear with me, guys, while I look for my tool. Let's have a look. Okay, there we go. Fibonacci. There we go, right? So we can see that the neckline aligns with the 50% Fibonacci. In fact, we could say between the 38.2% and the 50% Fibonacci retracement levels at this point over here, guys. So that is confluence in as far as looking for potential selling opportunities goes at this level over here that I just spoke about, right? So what else do we see, guys, on the weekly chart that we should be paying attention to? At this point, I don't see much. What I will do is head down to the daily chart, and here we are on the daily chart. Let's have a look. So what do we see on the daily chart that we should be paying attention to? Let's have a look. In fact, before we start working on the daily chart, I'm just going to start off by adding my channel. Just bear with me, guys. Let's have a look. I would add my channel in this manner, more or less. There goes my daily channel, more or less. There we go. There we go. Right, there we go. Right. So what else do we see in regards to the daily chart of Euro USD? Right. On the weekly chart, we spoke about this M structure, which has a neckline at that point, right? Can you guys also see that we have at this point a liquidity candlestick? It is a bullish candlestick rather, with a small body and a long upper wick, which tells us that there's a lot of liquidity at this point and that the market at some point needs to head up to that point to trigger that liquidity. And that's what may actually happen in the future. The price may head back, or rather head up to the neckline to test it, and at this point we would look for potential selling opportunities, right? Anyway, let's proceed. So what else do we see? I don't see much at this point in time. What I'm going to do is head down to the H4 chart. However, before I do so, I'd just like to also point out that as much as we have this liquidity candlestick, we have another one at this point, we have another at this point, and at that point, right? So all of these levels are carrying a lot of liquidity, and this tells us that in the future price has to actually go up to trigger all of those liquidity points, as you guys can see, right? Anyway, let's head down to the H4 chart. I'm just gonna fix my lines at this point. There we go. Right. So what else do we see in regards to the H4 chart? In fact, before we continue, I'm just gonna add my H4 channel as well, so just bear with me, guys. Here we go, more or less. There we go. There we go. Just want to make sure that my channel is as accurate as can be, right? So there we go. So let's see. Remember, guys, we spoke about how we have just bear with me. We spoke about how we have this overextended M formation, which has a neckline at that level, right? As much as we have that particular M structure, can you guys also see that? Let me just zoom in a bit so you guys can see clearly. Can you guys also see that we have another M structure over here, which has a neckline at that point, and it's very much similar to that bigger M structure that I spoke about. So similarly, we expect price to head back to the neckline, and at this point we will look for potential selling opportunities, right? Just like with this huge M structure that I spoke about, which has a neckline at that point. So should price head back to this level, we will look for a potential selling opportunity, and our take profit will be where price currently is, which is here, which is a very strong level of support, as we had said, right? And perhaps what may actually happen is, because this is a very strong level of support, we might potentially see price do this, actually give us a nice M formation and then push further up, right? That's what, sorry, a W formation rather. That's what may possibly happen as well. Anyway, let's proceed. I'm just going to add a neckline to that smaller W structure as well, or rather M structure, excuse me. There we go, there goes our neckline. And similarly, I'm going to use the Fibonacci retracement tool just to see if the neckline aligns with any of the key numbers that we have on the tool. Let's see, Fibonacci, I would edit in this manner. Right, and we can see that the neckline aligns with the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, which is a key level, right? So what else do we see, guys? In regards to the H4 chart, I don't see anything else really that is super interesting. So what I will do now is head down to the H1 chart. Let's have a look. And here we are on the H1 chart. On this chart as well, I don't see anything that is super interesting, right? Just to zoom out a bit, I would love to see price actually, as I said, head to this level over here, which is a very strong level of support, and at that point I would look for potential buying opportunities. But right now, as things stand, I do not see any buying or selling decisions. However, having said that, I would love to see price retrace to this level because we have this M structure, and at this level I will look for potential selling opportunities. And if the level does not hold, the next structure is the structure over here, where we would love price to test, and at that structure we would look for potential selling opportunities. And that is because this level over here is the neckline of that huge M structure that I spoke about on the bigger time frames, right? So that is it in as far as my analysis goes of Euro USD. I hope that makes sense. Peace out.